Today's lesson is subtracting integers. Take out your lesson worksheet if you have it, and if you don't, grab a sheet of paper and a pencil so you can copy down the examples as we go along, but make sure you do not have a calculator. We are doing this without a calculator today. So let's get started. All right, here's the problem. We are going to find each difference. So remember that the word difference means the answer to a subtraction problem. And next to the star is a really important rule, right? It's so important that I'm going to color my star in a little bit here with yellow so that we remember that we need to change all of the subtraction problems into addition problems. So anytime you see a problem with integers and it's a subtraction problem, you are going to change it into an addition problem. All right, let me show you how we're going to do that, and we'll follow our steps. So the first problem is 8 minus 15. So I'm going to recopy my problem, and let's go through these 4 steps. So step 1 is we're going to keep the first integer the same. So we never change the first integer. That 8 is just going to stay an 8. Step 2 is we're going to change the subtraction sign into addition. So this minus sign is going to become a plus sign. The next thing we're going to do for step 3 is we're going to write the opposite of the second integer. So the opposite means we just change the sign. The opposite of positive 15 is negative 15. And I'm going to put it in parentheses so I don't have 2 signs right up against each other. And then step 4 is we're going to use the rules of adding integers, right? Because now we have an addition problem. So we've got our rules on the bottom here. If you need to stop the video and take a minute to copy the rules down, do that. We have different signs, right? I have a positive 8 and a negative 15. So that means I am going to subtract the numbers. 15 minus 8 gives me 7. And then when I'm deciding which sign it's going to be, I'm going to look at the 2 numbers in my problem, and I'm going to see which one is bigger, right? Meaning which one has the higher absolute value. I've got an 8 and a 15. Well, 15 is bigger than 8, and 15 was a negative number, so my answer is going to be negative 7. And of course, you know how to do this because we've already done lots of problems with adding integers. Okay, the next example is negative 3 minus 9. So again, let's go through our steps. We're going to keep the first integer the same. Negative 3 just comes straight down. I'm going to change this minus sign into a plus sign. And I'm going to write the opposite of the second integer. The opposite of 9 is negative 9. So now I'm adding 2 negative integers together. So I'm going to use my first rule, and that's where we just add them. 3 plus 9 equals 12, and we keep the sign. Because if I have 3 negatives and then I add 9 more negatives to that, I just have a big pile of negatives, right? I can't cancel anything out. It's just all negatives. All right, next example. We've got 4 minus negative 14. As always, we're keeping that first integer the same. I'm going to change my minus sign into a plus sign. The opposite of negative 14 is positive 14. I've got 2 positive integers, right? This is like first grade. I'm just going to add them. 4 plus 14 is 18, right? Positive plus a positive gives me a positive. My last example is negative 7 minus negative 20. Okay, I'm going to keep my first integer the same. Negative 7 just comes down. I'm going to change this minus sign into a plus sign. And the opposite of negative 20 is positive 20. My integers have different signs. I have a negative and a positive, so I subtract them. 20 minus 7 is 13. The one with the larger absolute value is 20, right? Because 20 is a bigger number than 7. Since my 20 was positive, that means my difference will also be positive. All right, so if you feel like you understand it, now would be a good time to stop the video and then start working on the next set of problems, which are right here. And when you finish solving them, start the video again and you can check your answers. All right, here we go. Let's check these answers. So we are rewriting all of these problems as addition problems. That's the first thing that we're doing. So this negative 6 minus 5 is going to turn into a negative 6 plus a negative 5. And when I add 2 negatives together, I get negative 11. For number 2, I'm going to change this to 9 plus negative 21. My signs are different, so I'm going to subtract. 21 minus 9 is 12. Since I have more negatives than positives to begin with, since 21 has the larger absolute value, my answer is negative 12. My next one, as an addition problem, is going to be 15 plus positive 18. When I add 15 plus 18 together, I get positive 33, two positives. For number 4, it's going to change to negative 6 plus positive 27. Different signs, so I subtract them and get 21. It's going to be positive because 27 is bigger than 6. 27 has a larger absolute value than negative 6, so my answer will be positive. Number 5 is going to be negative 10 plus negative 15. When we're adding two negatives together, we add the numbers 25 and we keep the sign, negative 25. For number 6, negative 30 stays the same. I change my subtraction to addition. The opposite of negative 20 is positive 20. If I'm adding a negative 30 and a positive 20, they have different signs, so I subtract. 30 is larger than 20, has a larger absolute value. Since it was negative, my answer will also be negative. Now, these last 3 problems, we have more than 2 numbers that we are subtracting, so we're just going to go from left to right. 6 minus 17 is going to turn into 6 plus negative 17. And then this minus 4, I'll just bring down for now. If I'm adding a positive 6 plus a negative 17, I'm going to subtract these and get 11. Keep the sign of the number with the larger absolute value, so that's negative 11 minus 4. Now again, I have a subtraction problem. Let's change it to addition. So it's going to become negative 11 plus negative 4. If I'm adding 2 negative numbers together, I'm just going to add them and I'm going to keep the sign. So my solution is negative 15. For my next one, I'm going to bring down negative 11. That's my first integer. This minus sign is going to become a plus, and negative 22 is going to turn into positive 22. And I'll bring my minus 6 down for now. Negative 11 plus positive 22, different signs. So I'm going to subtract them and get 11. It's going to be positive because 22 has a greater absolute value than 11. Then I'm going to bring down minus 6. Well, 11 minus 6, I could change that to an addition problem, but do I really need to? 11 minus 6 is just 5. For number 9, we've got negative 2 minus 8 minus negative 10. All right, let's rewrite this as addition. So negative 2 comes down. My minus becomes a plus. The opposite of 8 is negative 8. And then I've got minus negative 10. Right? We'll just bring it down for now, so I'm doing it one step at a time. Negative 2 plus negative 8, 2 negatives, I just add them together. It's negative 10. And then I'm going to bring down the rest of my problem, which was minus negative 10. Let's rewrite this as addition. So negative 10 will stay the same. My minus will become a plus, and the opposite of negative 10 is positive 10. After all this work, look what's happening. We have a negative 10 and a positive 10. Totally cancels out. And we end up with 0 after all that work. All right, so hopefully this is helpful with subtracting integers and you understand the fact that you need to change all of your subtraction problems to addition before you start, and then you just follow those addition rules, right? Those rules that we've already learned. If you need any help, reach out to a friend or ask your teacher. As always, we are here to help you. See you next time.